Good afternoon. This is your orientation for the legal studies programs and the courses in legal studies at Illinois Central College. My name is Tom Higgins. I teach many of the courses that you'll take in this program. My background, I'm an Illinois Central College graduate. I have a degree in police science, which was the precursor to our current law enforcement degree. A degree in the administration of criminal justice from Bradley University, and a law degree from what was formerly the John Marshall Law School in Chicago and is now the University of Illinois College of Law. I've been teaching in our programs at Illinois Central College since 1996, full-time, taught a little part-time prior to that. I've been licensed to practice law since 1990. I started out for a few years in the law enforcement field. First job was actually at Illinois Central College in the Department of Public Safety in 1985. So a little bit about our program history. This program started out in 1989. The primary source for legal assistance and paralegals and other legal support positions in law firms, corporations, and government offices all across Central Illinois, and we have graduates working all across the country, is our program. We have graduates working at Fortune 50 corporations like Caterpillar, State Farm, OSF, in Walmart's world headquarters in Benton, Arkansas. We have graduates working for sole practitioner lawyers and for huge law firms in Illinois and other states. We have graduates working for the U.S. Attorney's Office and federal courthouses, state's attorneys and local courthouses, the Illinois Attorney General's Office, and many government agencies and bodies. And we have graduates from this program who have gone on to become duly licensed and successful lawyers. That's a little bit about my history and the history of the program. If you ever want information about advisement, jobs, instructors, career-related links to things, we have a website at icclaw.info. That's icclaw.info. And you will be actually in the first week, at least of my classes, directed to that resource. If you don't know that resource already, you need to imprint that in your brain and always go and find that resource, because we post jobs at this site for law firms, legal offices, anything related to the law across the region, and sometimes throughout the state and sometimes beyond the state. So know that resource. If you haven't gone to that site, maybe take some time now and pause this video and go take a look. It's really worth your time to at least peruse it and know what I'm talking about. And feel free to do that. Otherwise, how do you get to a position or career in the law? And that's mainly what I want to talk about, because what we do in our courses is to prepare you for that journey. So some tips, some general tips for both course and program success, but really things that are going to build your knowledge, your skills, your awareness, and your ability to go out and get a job in the law and keep a job in the law, enjoy a job in the law, and then be successful in a job in the law. So when you talk to your advisor the first time as you decided to enter these courses and you contacted me, you had to do a little exploration of what our programs were and what the various career paths were. So you have a good idea about that. And we set that tone right up from that day you walk in the door, so to speak. And then we keep that expectation and focus all the way through your time in our program. We do this to help you develop and know how to constantly improve your skills to become confident, and employable. That's our goal. We want you to leave here competent, confident, and employable. Now, improving and practicing your knowledge of the skills in the law is something you will need to do for your entire career, not just in a particular course this semester or courses throughout your time in the program or your first year in practice or your 10th year in practice or your 30th or 40th year in practice. It's something that you have to build on, sharpen those skills, maintain that knowledge, improve that knowledge your entire career. To that end, there's really three important expectations for a successful legal studies student, expectations that we promise are going to lead to success in this career field. And we've honed these and broke them down and thought about them and worked them from time to time, but we really want to keep it as simple as possible. And the first one is professionalism. As a lawyer, I took a solemn oath to work within and abide by the professional and ethical standards required by the law. If I fail to uphold that oath or violate the standards, I lose my privilege of being licensed to practice law. A legal studies graduate employed by a lawyer must work under and avoid violations of these very same standards. So, understanding the importance of professional and ethical standards and making the commitment to work within these standards is key to a long and prosperous legal career. And we're going to emphasize that and teach you what those standards and expectations are, but we're going to expect you to rise and adapt to those expectations. The time to begin learning and adapting to living and working with a character and the professionalism that will be expected of you in the law is today, right now. And experience has shown that legal studies students who work diligently to master and abide by the professional responsibility and ethical expectations for lawyers, well, you end up in better jobs with more satisfying careers, just like those lawyers. You'll find success in the law if you accept, adapt to, and practice the expectations of professionalism beginning right now. The next item, and no less important, in fact, maybe more important to some degree, especially as you're learning those expectations for professionalism, but always throughout your career, in my mind, is organization. Most legal jobs are document and information intensive. There's a lot going on. Legal studies graduates classify and catalog, categorize, and organize all types of client and file information for their supervising lawyer. Organizing this information requires planning, and it's time intensive. Successful legal studies graduates set aside time to plan their assigned work tasks in order to make their workflow smoother and more efficient. They organize their work with a detailed to-do list. They review and update those lists daily to stay on task and to meet all deadlines. As a legal studies student, you begin practicing that here, and you're going to be encouraged to develop your own systems and methods for staying organized, but you'll also be given some tried and true methods for doing so. And you'd be wise to begin to adopt these methods during your time as a student, because experience has shown that students who use their calendar, create to-do lists, update those lists, and plan their time so that they are able to meet all of their various class assignment expectations on time and to the best of your ability, you will have an easier and more successful transition to these very same expectations when you move into a job working for somebody in the practice of law. One of the unique aspects of being employed in the legal field is that, as with the lawyer, you are constantly juggling many tasks at once. You represent many clients with many diverse and different legal matters. And while you may plan to sit down and complete a particular task over a few hours, you're more likely to be interrupted by a telephone call from a client, a request from one of your supervising lawyers, or some other task that requires immediate attention and your plan to focus on that one job may be put off for minutes, hours, or days. The ability to be flexible, to multitask, it's a must. It's something that you have to have as a legal professional. This reality makes prioritizing your assigned tasks absolutely vital. As a legal studies student, you will have multiple assignments for various classes. The expectations are that you complete those assignments to the best of your ability, on time, with no excuses. Experience has shown that legal studies students who prioritize and plan their class assignments, multitask and plan their time so that they can complete all expected tasks and assignments on time, well, they have little trouble adapting to these very same expectations in the practice of law. You will be successful after you graduate if you commit to and do these things starting now. The last category is communication. Whether it's talking to clients, interviewing witnesses, or working with other legal personnel or court personnel to schedule depositions, hearings, legal meetings, you have to have and develop and continue to demonstrate good people skills. You have to be able to communicate verbally, in person, by telephone. In these types of communications, you are your lawyer's representative. So you have to express your thoughts clearly, and as importantly, you must record and convey anything you learn in these verbal communications to your supervising lawyer. You should be prepared to document all details of every such conversation. You want to pass that information on to your lawyer, including dates, times, persons you talk to, subject matter, and every detail you can remember from that conversation. In addition to these verbal communication skills, these interpersonal one-on-one or verbal communication skills, you have to have good writing skills, and written communication is essential to this career. Most of this writing comes by way of internal memorandums, responding to requests or assignments from your supervising lawyer on a given case or need of that lawyer. But legal professionals are also involved in drafting documents and correspondence from themselves to the lawyer to review and sign. One of the things that's a struggle for students is that most every communication by a legal professional is subject to the review of his or her peers, their supervising lawyer, and sometimes people outside the office. You have to have thick skin to take constructive criticism. You also have to have the willingness to give true constructive criticism. And we practice this. We practice it by way of a lot of peer review. Because that's what happens in the office. That's what happens in this field. Everybody reviews or sees or has an opportunity to review your work. And you have to be open to that. And that's why you do it to the best of your ability on time. It all falls together. Formal professional communication is expected, and every person on the legal team must accept that all their work is going to be reviewed by others in the law office. And regardless of the position, you have to be open to receiving and giving constructive comments. To that end, you will communicate in a professional manner in our courses. No emoji, no slang, no informal, text type talk, complete sentences, good grammar, spell check, proofread what you're going to send to somebody. Make it an effort to provide clear and original, no cut and paste, no plagiarism, and we'll get into that deeper in classes, but we don't do that. Those are the expectations right here in this program and when you leave in the career. And experience has shown that when a legal studies student works in class to meet these expectations in these areas of communication, written and verbal, you're going to find job satisfaction. You're going to do well in your career. So, to that end, you're going to be expected to communicate with your instructors, your fellow students, in ways that allow you to practice the forms and formats of verbal and written communication expected of you in the practice of law. Now, I have one more topic that I think we have to talk about here, um, and it sort of brings all those other things together, and that's effort. I want to end with a very frank and clear discussion of the expectations on effort. It's sort of become commonplace for some students who come into college for the first time or have not been in college for a while to expect to get credit when work isn't turned in on time, when work's turned in late, when work's turned in despite failing to meet the expectations of the assignment, or when work, being really frank, lacks the effort when compared to the work by other students who demonstrate the effort to meet the expectations of the assignment on time and to the best of their ability. Now, we hear things and we can claim it was because of the pandemic. It's something that's become more acceptable in high school. It's where society is, yada, yada, yada. Nobody cares, whatever the excuse. Let's be clear. I want to be very clear because that's the only way to be fair to you. It is not acceptable here in these courses, in this program, because it's not acceptable in our career fields. Plain and simple. No discussion, no debate, no excuses. In this career field, if we don't do the work to the best of our ability and in the required manner, by the required deadline, we may cost someone else, a citizen, a victim, an accused, a client, an employer. We can cost somebody something of value. We could cost them life or liberty. We may get ourselves or our employer in trouble. And if you're the employer and that employer happens to be a lawyer, their law license could be at risk. They could be sued for malpractice. They could face criminal prosecution or loss of their job or career. So, if you stay in this course, if you stay in this program, know this expectation. Know that we will be open to hearing excuses or requests for extensions when made within a reasonable time period. So that would be at the time of whatever's going on or prior to the deadline. And we're open to the types of excuses, needs, or concerns that we'd be willing to listen to or tolerate in the workplace, in an employment situation. So, most of you know what those are: verifiable illness, physical or mental health related things, family emergencies, family needs or death, work or employment related issues, and military commitments. Again, verifiable and approved by the instructor after the type of communication that would be acceptable in employment. As an example, if grandma passed away the day of an assignment or the day the assignment was due, the expectation at work would be you call your employer and say, hey, my grandma passed away. I'm not able to make it in. We've got family commitments. Have the conversation with your employer. That's the same expectation for an instructor. And if you do that, you're likely to get more time to complete the assignment on a reasonable basis. If you contact the instructor days later, it's less likely the absence or failure to complete the assignment is going to be excused. I mean, it wouldn't happen at work, right? If grandma passes away 2 times in that semester, you may end up with an F for the course. And going back to our discussion about professionalism and ethics earlier, unfortunately, yes, we have had this happen. A student, and not that's kind of in my mind dishonorable to grandma. if grandma actually passed away, but they claim she passed away 2 times within 16 weeks in order to get out of work that was assigned in actually 2 different classes with 2 different instructors who just happened to share an office. You can't make this stuff up. But no, the bottom line, if this is a law, or if law is a path you want to pursue, do these things. And all we ask and suggest along the way, and you're going to earn your knowledge and skills in the law. You will do well in class, and better yet, you're going to do great in your career. So, some final comments. Um, as I stated, I've been teaching these courses since 1996. I've been mentoring, coaching, counseling, and helping students through these courses in our program since that time. I'm available to do the same for you. I do it for our graduates. I stay in contact with and available to our program graduates as they navigate through their careers in law. And quite frankly, I'm so old and been around so long that some of them are starting to retire, and I'm still doing it. So I've helped them along the way over years, decades. I am here to do the same for you, and I don't plan on going anywhere. You can email me. That's probably the easiest way to try to catch me. Email me, and then we'll set up a phone call. But we are able to talk by phone, set up a meeting virtually, and possibly find a time when we can both meet on campus to talk. You can call me or contact me or email me, and we can discuss a course you're enrolled in with me. Contact your instructor if it's somebody else teaching the course. But if it's one of my courses, if it's about the program, if it's about your career questions or intentions, your continuing education after Illinois Central College, or anything related to your effort to be successful in this course, our program, or the career. That's today, tomorrow, and hopefully 10 years down the road. If you put in the effort and you fulfill your commitment to this course, to this program, to your chosen career path, I will be available to you. Let's talk real quick about what I provide in the courses, and then I'll let you go. You'll find a detailed syllabus, and the syllabus outlines the objectives of the course, the expectations of the course, and the expectations to earn grades in the course, including weekly deadlines that you will see apply to most weeks, except typically because the first week is usually a little iffy, and the final weeks of the course because those are also shortened and have some things, or when there's a holiday. For those weeks, I provide the information you'll need. And if you're logging in and participating in the course on a regular basis, you should have no problem meeting those adjusted deadlines, but the syllabus provides what the typical deadlines are. Normally, it's a Thursday at 10 p.m. for original work, and then peer reviews or self-assessments by the following Monday at 10 p.m. So you have some days to do both of those things, and most of the assignments I give are going to have some expectation or flow that's similar to that. The syllabus also provides topics to be covered each week of the course, and the reading expectations will either be referenced in this section of the syllabus, or they'll be provided in the assignment form for a particular week of the course. If you are enrolled in the Introduction to Legal Studies or Legal Research course, you're currently expected to purchase a course textbook. The syllabus provides a reference to the course topic for each week. The textbook provides the table of contents outlining the topics covered by the textbook. It's your responsibility to find, read, and attempt to master all the information on that topic contained in the textbook. The reason it's your responsibility is that this method provides you with an opportunity to help you develop the skill set that you'll be expected to demonstrate in the practice of law. You must be willing to seek, find, and master information, including the law. If we took you by the hand and led you to and explained the type of basic information you're going to be expected to find, read, and master from these textbooks and other resources we provide, you're not going to be prepared to work in this field. The lawyer in practice will provide guidance, clarification, and feedback, and that is what I will provide to you. But they will expect you to put in the effort to take ownership of the assignments, the law, the issues, the client matters that they give to you. And they won't walk you through every aspect of those tasks. If they had that kind of time, they wouldn't need you to do the work for them. They do the work themselves. They could save the money and have no need to pay you. So accept this expectation, adapt to this expectation, and meet this expectation. I also provide guidance, clarification, and feedback. I provide guidance initially by way of podcasts linked to the course site for weeks or topics, and you'll be directed to when you need to listen to a new podcast. I expect you to listen to these podcasts in conjunction with the assigned reading. Typically, I ask you to read or complete the assigned reading before you listen to the podcast, and make time to do both. The reading provides a base, and the podcast provides the guidance and clarification. Think of the podcast as the classroom lecture you're familiar with from a traditional course. The difference is that if you did the prep work, did the assigned reading, the podcast is to the point, often with examples and insights that help clarify and guide you towards mastering the content so you can complete the following assignment, or the assignment that follows those things, the reading and the podcast. I also provide feedback in three primary ways. First, after students have made their initial post, or after that Thursday 10 p.m. deadline as example, I post my own detailed response to the assignment. Second, where necessary, I may make a specific comment to all students to see directly to your post or about posts that are being made to kind of get everybody back on track, or to note that you've done something that everybody should pay attention to because it's, really good work, or to raise your effort by pointing out something you may have missed. And then third, where necessary, with the larger projects, you're going to find individual comments attached to your grade in the course gradebook. And so you'll see a little link to access those comments, and you'll get those comments in that way. I'm going to be here to support your efforts and to communicate with you, as I said, telephone, remote, when possible in person. Email is good to set up the need to talk, but it's not great to communicate those needs. So usually I'll ask that we either get a phone call in or a video chat, or we get together in person. So know that ahead of time. But let's be clear. I can't do your work for you. I can't put in your time. I can't earn your credentials or in the experience that you can put yourself out there to earn through our courses, our internships, your initial jobs in this career field. I already did all that, and I'll be more than happy to help you do the same, but I can't and I won't do it for you. So I'll provide you with a map for getting through this course, a map for getting through this program, a map for getting to the career, and I'll help you learn a topic, develop a skill, find an internship or job. I'll provide my advice for preparing for interviews, for the career in general, for testing or preparing to earn particular jobs, for backgrounds on particular types of employers or specific employers. And I'll be a reference for you when you go out to find those internships and jobs. And then, as I said, years later, after you've graduated and you keep moving on up the ladder, I'm in contact with the employers regularly. A lot of our employment opportunities come through former students who, are asked by their employers to reach out to help them find new employees. If you've been to the website, if you took the time to do that, you see that we post all that information there. You'll have me for the internship. And if you're not already in a full-time job, I'll help you get to that point where you can go out and begin looking for that full-time job. So there you have it. Go and log into the course, read the syllabus, get the due dates for week 1 and all 16 weeks in your calendar, and get to work. And as you are going to hear me say in podcast in every course, if you need me, you know where to find me. Don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks. Stay well.